Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads and welcome to my kitchen. And no, I don't have on an apron today, and no, I don't have any ingredients in front of me, but I do have a bed sheet. And I know you're wondering, what? A bed sheet in the kitchen? Well, let me tell you, I ordered a new set of sheets for mine and Doug's bed, and we have a king size. In fact, a California king is what I have to order. And the top sheet was too wide, and when I put it on the bed and it hung off the sides, my spread didn't cover it up. So I had two choices. I can tuck it under every day when I make the bed, or I could cut it off and put a Shirttail hem in the side of it, and that's what I chose to do. So today I thought, well, I'll just invite my friends to come along with me, and we will do the Shirttail hem together, because they might have a different way of doing it that they can show our friends, or you may learn how to make it if you've never made one. Shirttail hems can be used in shirts, they can be used in t-shirts, they can be used in dishcloths. There are just so many ways, and it's so simple to do. So let's get started, and we will do this Shirttail hem together. I want to shorten my sheet by 5 inches. So I'm only going to cut off 4 inches because I need room, or I need enough that I can turn it under. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a Shirttail hem. This Shirttail hem is a 1/2 inch. I measured it here, and our inches here, and it's a little less than a 1/2 inch, or so I'm just going to allow an inch so that we can turn the raw edge under, and then we'll turn it under again, and we'll sew along the outside or the inside right here, forming our Shirttail hem. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to mark our sheet or our fabric so that we can have a straight line to cut it. I'm measuring from the outside, and I'm measuring 4 inches. That's how much I want to take off. So I'm just going to take a pen and mark along periodically. And it's okay if this pen mark is left on here because it's going to be turned under and it's not going to show. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and mark all the way down the side of the sheet along the edge, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to lay my ruler this way, and I'm going to draw a straight line, and that's what we'll use to cut by. And because your sheet is not going to be even on the outside, it's not ironed, it's not perfectly straight, then it's going to not be an exact straight line, but it's okay where you've marked. So now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along that line. Just like that. And so we're removing the extra fabric to shorten the width of the sheet. So there you have it, just as simple as that. I've cut off 4 inches, and I'm going to continue to mark along the side, and I'll cut it off, and once I get it all cut, then I'll come back and we'll start the sewing process. Before we begin sewing, I wanted to show you my sewing machine. This sewing machine is a Singer zigzag machine. It is 56 years old, and I love it. It came in a cabinet, and it has a foot pedal that I use. It's not called, it's an electric foot pedal. I've forgotten exactly what it's called. And I also wanted to tell you, I keep my machine on sliders so that I can just slide it around easily anywhere that I want to move it. But this sewing machine, Doug gave it to me right after we got married, and I have made thousands of garments on it, and it's just wonderful. It has lasted for a very long time, as you can see, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've tried new machines, I've tried all these modern machines, but I always go back to my single stitch zigzag Singer sewing machine. Okay, so now we're ready to make our first stitch, and I'm not going to turn it under. If you can see this, turn it under and turn it under again and stitch. I'm going to make what we call a stay stitch, or that's what we called it when I was in school. It's just a straight line stitch, and this will help us when we go to turn it under. It'll turn under much better. So I'm going 3/8 of an inch, and I have the little markers here on my machine. So I'm just going to run a stitch 3/8 of an inch, feeding it through, holding it with my hands to guide it so that we'll have a straight line of stitching. Now that's what you call a stay stitch, just like that. It's just a stitch on a single piece of fabric. What I'm going to do now is take it to the ironing board, and I'm going to press under on that stay stitch. I'm going to press this, and I use an iron an awful lot because it just makes your garments go together so much easier. And then we'll turn it again and stitch it. So I'll meet you at the ironing board. So now we're ready to press our sheet, and I have my steam iron, and I'm just pressing along where I made the stay stitch. You're going to understand, if you're not familiar with a stay stitch, you'll understand why it's so important to make this stay stitch, because it just makes things so much easier. So now I'm going to turn the raw edge to the inside, and I'm going to press along that stay stitch very carefully. Just pressing. Just like that. Now, let me press a little bit further down so you'll see how easily it makes it when you press. I remember making dresses and evening gowns and things of that nature for my children, and work clothes for me when I was younger, and sewing. And I would press every seam that I made. I would press it, and when I finished my garment, then the garment was ready to wear. So what we're going to do next, we have our stay stitch and our 3/8 of an inch folded under. So now we're going to fold it again. Now you can do one of two things here. You can pin it, or you can go ahead and press it. I like to turn it and press it, and then I like to put a few pins along the way too, making it easier to stitch. So just turning it under like that. Pressing. And there you have that. So now I'm going to take some pins, and you can do one of two things. My machine will allow you to sew over pins. So if you can sew over pins with your machine, of course you would want to place your pins like this. And then as you sew along, you can just pull them out. Some people put their pins like this and they take them out as they sew. So either way is fine. You can do it one of two ways. You can pin it like this, take it out as you sew, or you can put it this way and you can sew over it and then remove your pins. So now, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So now we're going to go back to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch it. And guess what? We'll be finished with our project. We have our Shirttail hem. We put the stay stitch in it. We pressed it. We folded it over, and now we folded it over again. We have our pins in it, and we're ready to stitch. So I'm going to stitch along the edge, and I'm stitching from the inside. What I like to do is to do a back stitch. So I'll start my machine, and then I'll put it in reverse, and I'll reverse. And what that does is secure those first few stitches. So now we're just stitching, taking the pins out as we go because we put them lengthwise. And look how easy that is going together. There's no stress. It's going to be, there are no gathers in the hem. And it's all because we use that stay stitch and we press. So it just makes it go together really, really well. Take our pins out and continue to sew. And that's what it's going to look like. I hope that you can see this. It's beautiful. It looks like it was done at the factory, but in reality, we altered it to fit our bed. And I'm going to finish this, and I'll be back in just a minute. So our sheet is all ready to go on our bed, and there's nothing that I love any more than a fresh, clean sheet to lay down on at night and get some good rest. Thank you for coming alongside me today and helping me with this project, and I promise you I'm going to get back in this kitchen and we're going to make another good recipe real soon. So have a blessed day. Be sure to like, comment, and share our videos, and I'll see you again really soon.